It's a pleasure to have everyone here, and I believe that tonight's interaction is actually going to be very, very fruitful. So to say, the purpose of this meeting overemphasize the
Director, your line is breaking.
With the interaction tonight. I'll give the floor to Can you hear me now, sir?
Okay, it has improved.
Okay, thank you. So I'll give the floor very quickly to my colleagues to actually take the first chunk of the interaction. And of course, proceedings will continue from there. So of course, if you can hear me, Chairman of the board, I'd like you to take the floor. And of course, let us have a welcome note and also a background of why the club is where it is today and what the club hopes to achieve by actually coming to do some of the things it has actually done, which I believe is actually for the sake of sustainability. So if you can hear me, Chairman of the board, please unmute your mic and take the floor. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Director. Why I address the floor on where we are now, please, can you just kindly share who's with me? Because it seems I might want to share screen for a minute before Engineer Anthony comes on board. I hope you heard me, sir.
You are now the host, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. So my able executive panel in the house, the head of tech, the head of communication, all the global zonal leaders here, and other visitors with us on this call tonight, you're all welcome. Just like the director said, that hopefully our interaction tonight is going to be meaningful and successful. It's going to be resourceful. So I would like to go quickly to the issues that I know that have been ailing and disturbing in our minds, and to a very wide range, to a very wide extent. Most of those disturbing issues in our minds are just artificial disturbances. They are disturbances that are not supposed to be. Contrary to the wrong notion that our system is in crisis, I want to dispel that wrong notion that our system is in crisis. But rather, I want to show us briefly that our pasture is greener now. Our pasture is greener now. So it is the fear of the unknown that has been troubling some of us in the community. And the worst of it all is that at some point we find out that some members are just intentionally inconveniencing themselves, in the sense that they are seeing truth very clear, conspicuously standing in their front, but they just decide to ignore it and go after their emotions. We all know that in making money these days, emotion does not play any role. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's discussion. So in our discussion tonight, we need to know that for those of us who are described as founding partners, we're not sitting as founding partners because we communicate the most or because we market the most. That is not true. We have many more marketers in this community, much more than us. So if anyone asks me, what do we think, what is our place as founding partners? I would want to say this night that one thing I have seen that I have appreciated God so much is that God gave us, the founding partners, the strength to be steadfast, to be strong. The place of decision making is what makes us the founding partners. Otherwise, there are so many texts out there. There are so many communicators, developers, marketers out there, but leadership has to do with decision making. The point of decision making is the foundation of leadership, because if the decision is not right, every other work around the decision will go wrong. So, and if not for cogent decisions, some of these decisions are not primarily coming from us or ultimately coming from us as founding partners. We also have this opportunity to learn from every of the contributions from all members and especially the global leaders. Our consistent and continuous conversation, engagement opens us for a lot of learning. So all this learning are not put to waste. They are put to very great use, because when it comes to that point where we have to make decisions, we consider the minds, the opinion, the contributions of our global leaders. So that is why I stand bold to say that the decision so far we have tonight, we have on ground, is the best decision we deserve, we need, and it is in the best interest of our collective good. So another thing I want us to know again is that we who have been promoting and proclaiming freedom, success, achievement, we are not naive in the network marketing industry or in the network business. We are not naive. We are not unaware of the circumstances that produce great results in network marketing. We have long stay of experience and learning in the network marketing, and that it is upon that we are on the right path. There is this learning, I think I should share with every one of us here, from Jack Ma, who said that he drew up categories of ages, age brackets, and to him, he postulated that there are certain age in life where you should just be fine making your mistakes. Just be fine making your mistakes. And after mistakes is experimentation. You get to that age where you have to experiment a lot. And then you should get to that age where when you consider all the mistakes you have made in life, you've learned from them, you've also experimented wide, long enough, you should now come to that point where you want to settle down. Now, this your settling down is what will take you into your retirement age where you live peacefully. You shouldn't start practicing a trade when you are 80, when you are 70. According to him, he said it is too late for you. You don't have any business learning a trade at the age of 70, 80. So some people say that there is no limit to learning. No, there's a limit to learning when it comes to reality. And when lifestyle or life standard comes in place. So we have grown past the age of trying to cope with mistakes. We have grown past the age of trying to cope with mistakes or feel that we should be comfortable making mistakes. And we are exiting that age where we have to experiment. Now we have to establish and explore. We have to establish and explore. And that is why if we consider how we started in 2021, 1st August 2021, we may be experimenting, we may be learning at that time, and then the blows, the challenges we had, we've learned quite a lot. And then when it comes to other associating patterns of network marketing, we are familiar with the trends. Is it in the aspect of trading? Is it in the aspect of both crypto or forex trading? Some of us have up to 10 years experience in this line of reasoning. Is it in investment where you put this amount of money, you get AYZ? We are familiar with those stuff. So to this point, to this end, the best way to truly make money from the conclusion of some of us is to have a steady, safe, organized program. Because even some of those ones you feel that you can still reference right now that are paying, my dear brothers and sisters, it's just a matter of weeks or a month, just a matter of weeks or a few months, and you won't be hearing them anymore because we are honest to ourselves. So now I would like to show us briefly that we have a greener pasture now, where all of us can now begin to establish. It is network that will ever give you the greatest amount of success in network marketing. Net worth. The worth of your network, the size of your network is very significant in wealth building. So it may not, your cash capital may be fine, may be very, very important, but what is much more important is the size of the network you're building. Anything other than that is going to be tougher. So today, in CLUB250 cents, haven't had all those long narration, we have now come to a point where we saw a danger ahead, and we have to make sure we forestall the danger. The danger of every one of us having to battle with integrity and dignity is a very scary one. So how fair would we be, and how would we say we are innovative? How would we say we are contemporaries when we are running a system that we are looking at the danger ahead and we are ignoring the danger? And that is why preemptive measures became very, very necessary. Okay, so we came up with a comp plan that is very beautiful, looking at it from the recycling and also the size of the global team, the nature of the coin relevant for this production, which is the sea gold, and how the recycling created a structure and a demarcation between the classic and the premium, so that there can be area of concentration and control. So the recycling gave us a control unit, a control system between when you want to do your premium and when you are working on your classic. These structures are fine, are beautiful. Now, as we speed up the process, the last report we had before we had to introduce what we call the progress bar or the progressive bar was a situation where they became a high number of earnable accounts or qualified earning accounts, like you heard from the tech when you looked at the scale 10,000 to 9,000, 9,000 qualified earning. So there is no way we could continue with this trend. Now, the fundamental structures that led to why they became this tightness between 10,000 and 9,000 is a whole long walk on its own. So let's look at the consequence of 9,000 earning account out of 10,000. It simply means that if we continue that way, those of you who we have all come together to run this club will be running into trouble with our other network and contact we're bringing on board. So, but the progressive bar as introduced now is like a system that takes record of our performances on daily basis. So it means that the system now will be paying what is justifiable, what is qualified to be earned. Because if you look at the character of the progressive bar, it is saying that when a system pays out $1,000 today, then the next day the system will not pay if the system earns $999. The system will now have to wait until $1,000 is recovered, and then the system will now pay from the moment it is $1,001. So if the system earned just $100 yesterday, we should be expecting $101 today for a system to pay out. If you look at this system, it tells you that this is a standard business, a business of time. It creates urgency for registration. So you have to urgently register. And as you register, your account is able to accumulate 1,000 global team. It queues up. The system picks it up into a queue on what is called a progressive bar. So accounts that are not qualified to earn will not earn, even if the progressive bar, gets completed a multiple times a day. So your account have to get it 1,000 global team, and your account has to have it one referral condition, and then what will be left is just the progressive bar. And as we collectively, in fact, from history to this time, every day we have always been having a good record of registration on a daily basis. What just scared the community, it is because we, the administrators, the founding partners, alongside with the global leaders, failed to, in fact, we dispelled panic to our contacts, and some of us just were not ready to listen and we're not ready to follow. So this panic we dispel is what has created this slowness in registration. Otherwise, we have missed money a lot. From the day the progressive bar was introduced to this time, all those days are potential earning days that we just missed. So guys, without taking too much of our time tonight, today we have by the side Brain Network, the DEFI Pay, and our darling club. Now the DEFI Pay, which in fact, once you get Engineer Anthony on board, of course, you should know what to expect. But for the meantime, for those of us who have familiarized ourselves with the DEFI Pay, it is a wonderful business, and that is why I felt so happy to address the community tonight and to tell you that we have a greener pasture today, and that the size of your net worth, or your network, all of these things are going to be catalysts to your success in this project. So why do I say so? It is because I have a feel, I have tested, I have tried it. We all should understand today what the industry needs. The industry needs real-life application of system. The DEFI Pay is a reality, is the real-life application of cryptocurrency in our daily life. A situation whereby the system distant government documentation with processes for trading, that is a breakthrough system. And you know that we are wide thinkers. We think wide. That is why earlier before now, we have a social media space, we have an e-commerce platform, but all of these we have been collectively put together in one system under the pretext or the name, the exchange platform, okay, which is what the DEFI Pay is all about. So we now have a plethora of business in the DEFI Pay. So I will share my system because I think I should have, in 2 minutes time, I should be done with this address so that we can listen to our bombastic head of tech. So let me share my screen quickly. Okay, now what I've just shown us, I don't know how bright it is. Let me try to zoom out. Where is my zoom? Where is zoom? Zoom, don't waste my time. Well, let me just speak to them. I'm not able to see my zoom right now. So as you can see on this, my screen is the DEFI Pay. And in the DEFI Pay, I have gone haywire trying to recruit in the last few days. For some days, I wasn't able to work because of other engagement, but just in a few days, I was able to contact a few people. If this screen is zoomed enough, you will see that I have 55 direct downline in my first generation. So, and some number in second and third generation, but that is not where I'm going to. Where I'm going to is the fact that I am building a business for myself. Now, these numbers you're seeing here, this is a potential network, which will be translating to my net worth in a few moments to come. So I have a target of raising my first generation downline to about 1,000 or 2,000. And I can tell you that if I have up to 1,000, I can confidently recruit even 2 secretaries to work for me. I can have 2 secretaries working for me. Because what I'm going to be doing, because what the tech did here very wonderfully is you're not only entitled to only able to have the phone numbers of your first generation, you are also able to see the phone numbers in your second and your third generation. So what does that signal to us? It tells us that that's a business arena for us. And then when you look at the dashboard, it's so beautiful. You have all seen all the functions that this DEFI Pay can perform, and this is just for a start. A lot of improvement, including the e-commerce platform that has been intuited here, are going to really, really be a wonderful opportunity for all of us. Now, there is a connection between this DEFI Pay and CLUB250. You see, number one, you see the whole plan of the tech from the brain network and to the DEFI Pay, because the tech cannot do without the club. The tech has the club to build, and the club is operating with C Gold. So if the tech is working with the club, with the C Gold must be expensive, it must be scarce. Otherwise, the C Gold will come to the DEFI Pay and then mess the whole business here. Okay, if people will just go to the club and get free coin, even if this department of our business is worth $1 billion, it will be cutted away in a twinkle of weeks. So the scarcity translates to value at some point. So now the gold value of the coin is now beginning to manifest, because to really dig gold is not a low-cost program. It's very, very expensive to mine gold. So also is our crypto gold. So in the crypto gold, all of us have to accept that we have a beautiful club to maintain. And as the progressive bar becomes our friend, the progressive bar supply us with coin. And then the coin, which definitely if we can come together and understand how the club and the DEFI Pay works together for our own good, definitely the recharge card you'll be getting, that you'll be transacting on daily basis here, may not necessarily be money coming from your bank account that you're depositing here. The TV or the cable station subscription that you will be doing here will not be you going somewhere else to inject a fresh money. It has to be money you are generating from within the system, either from the C Gold or from your activity in the DEFI Pay, and then you are able to cash it out. This is what we're achieving for all of us. So if in the classic, I did an estimate of what one gets in just a single referral in the classic. Anyone you refer in the classic, what we see is 25 cents. But it goes beyond that. You get about 20% of that coin because of that registration, because when you register Mr. A himself is going to either bring in people or create accounts himself, duplicate himself by creating further accounts to qualify those accounts. Those accounts is creating, the system is recognizing them as sub-downline, which means that the position for second generations are naturally created in the classic. The position for third generation are naturally created on the created for you. So this translates to little dropping of money to you. And once this money is dropping, then you push this money to the DEFI pay, and then you use it to buy recharge card. You use it to do anything you want to do. So, but now, as you can see, even though the C Gold is the king of the internet, but the C Gold is not here right now. It's not activated. The configuration for C Gold working here is already here. What we need to do as a club member is to get it activated. Could you all believe that once we get the C Gold activated on this platform, all of us here are made? I'm not talking about we pumping money. I'm just saying, once C Gold reflects here and we understand the progressive bar, by that alone, all of us are made. This is how I think so. For me, who have about 50 something downline, I'm taking it up. So I'm going to create a special group, collect all this number. If possible, I can get a secretary to help me do that. I just, even if I'm not going to give the secretary my password, but I will just screenshot those numbers, send it to whoever is assisting me and helping me add them up to a WhatsApp group. Now, the people will not be living aggressively because they already see the title is the DEFI pay, something they have already registered on. If possible, I can create one-on-one contact with them, calling them on phone and telling them how sweet, how savory the club business, especially the classic, is. So if all of us concertedly continue to do a few registrations per day, you will see the progressive bar getting filled up overnight. However, in order to make these things very short, we who says we are the founding members of this program, if we understand this, we can say, okay, we are declaring emergency and we are doing 3 classic registration or 2 premium account just to ensure that we create transaction in the DEX tool or in the Uniswap. Once those transactions are created for us to increase our stake in the classic, before you know, within few hours or within a day or two, the liquidity will be boosted up and the value of the coin will also appreciate high, which will translate to activating this coin in the DEFI market, in the DEFI pay market. With that, we are made. We are automatically made. All this time we are wasting time locking up our rooms. That is not the way to do business. My room has never been locked for a single minute. I've been working in my room. So all of us need to embrace work. And then we'll realize that most of these complaints we make, we are complaining over a figment of our own fearful imagination. So I want to use this opportunity to call on the attention of everyone as you'll be listening to the head of tech address. And I know all of us are going to come to understanding, but this does not mean, for those of you who have reservation, please let today be a summary discussion on this topic of I no go agree, I no go agree, I no go agree, I don't like it, I don't like it. Please let us come in one mind and promote this business, because we need a business whereby you can actually speak at any platform confidently. I've been doing registration. Yesterday, I did registration. Even today, I did multiple registrations in my room. For those people who are in my room, they saw it. I tell people the terms and conditions. So it is now, some people are today joining Rotary Club, where they gain nothing, just lifestyle, come eat, drink, and go and walk away. So there are things happening out there that are not translating to any profit to each member. Those things cannot be compared to what we have in CLUB250. So thank you for giving me this opportunity, Director. At this point, I would like to pause here and then give the mic back to you. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you. God bless you too, sir. Of course, you've actually created the base foundation upon which we are actually creating the solidity for tonight's discussion. And once again, I want to appreciate you. At this point, let me or call on Engineer Anthony, our head of tech, CTO DEFI Connect, to actually unmute his mic and, of course, give us the statistical interpretation and, of course, views and evidence to back up the foundation that the chairman of the board has created for the community to actually understand what we are achieving with the progressive. But Engineer Anthony, if you can hear me, sir, you want to unmute your mic and take the floor. Engineer Anthony, sir, if you can hear me, you want to unmute your mic and take the floor. Engineer Anthony, can you hear me, sir? Chairman of the board, maybe you make me the host again so that
I don't know how to do it.
okay, just
Okay,
click
let
on.
me check. Let me check.
Just
where is it?
click on my name. Click on my name, sir. You see it. You see the pop-up, and then you see make admin.
I haven't seen you. I haven't seen you. Don't worry. That's how come I'm not seeing you on the list here? Okay. That's okay. Can you hear me?
Clearly, sir, I can.
Okay.
Just click on my name. You see me here. My name is very evident. Gideon Vitus. You see me. Just
I've only seen what I'm seeing is to remove you.
Don't remove me, sir. Please just click on my name.
Done.
Okay.
Done.
Okay. Has taken the host back. Okay, Engineer Anthony, if you can hear me, please.
I've done it. I've done it.
Okay,
you are not
sir.
the host.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Engineer Anthony, if you can hear me, sir, please unmute your mic and, of course, take the floor.
Thank you so much, Director. Thank you, Chairman, and good evening, everyone of us in this meeting this evening. It's good to have everyone on board and for us to come to understand where we are and to know where we are going, so as to have the way forward. I think the Chairman already said a whole lot. Chairman already said a whole lot during his welcome address. And I'll just build on that. That doesn't look like just ordinary foundation again, but working on that existing protocol. I would want to start a few background of what we have right now from the tech perspective. Of course, getting to where we are at the moment didn't come easy, and I think we are still paying for, I say paying the debt, paying the cost of coming to where we are at the moment, based on the time for making mistakes, the time for experimentation, and the time to settle down, as Sherman mentioned during his address. I think the club has made as much mistakes as possible. And so, if I may say, has also experimented as much as possible. And now has the time for her settling down. Why did I say so? Some of the things that we have right now were promises made long ago, both in DEFI Connect and in the CLUB250 community. And we have now gone beyond promises to reality. So it is now possible for us, when we decide to be able to do a whole lot with our currency. And excitement that I feel right now about what we have and the timing is actually what is coming in the crypto space. A lot has been cooking up. We saw the move of Facebook to blockchain. We saw how that part of what we are working on for Brain Network, Facebook already started it. We also saw how that Instagram is now more of a marketplace, an NFT marketplace, where creators can give out digital collectibles and people can make acquirements, so a whole lot. And these guys are the people that move the mountain, the physical mountain per se. People like Facebook, when they move, it's a whole lot. Also, we have in Solana, Google becoming a validator on the Solana network. We are seeing what Twitter is cooking up. So a whole lot is coming on board as far as the crypto space is concerned. And this is going to translate to something beyond anything we've ever seen as far as the space is concerned. And we, as a business, are settling down at a time like this. That now open us to a very large amount of opportunity as per how much coverage we can have. Now, the smart contract of CLUB250, that is C Gold, sometimes early this week, I know I spoke with some leaders on individual level, not this week, we're in a new week, last week, on individual level to see how we can get the understanding of some of the underlying wiring of the system. You remember vividly that part of what we're still suffering from today were issues we had during our first attempt to migrate to the smart contract. After burning thousands of dollars, we had some technical issues therein that wouldn't allow us to proceed, as major part of the system, especially in terms of daily earning, were not coming forth. And we make the attempt again. I think we had like 3 attempts with one problem to the next. And some of the people I spoke with, I make them to understand that the tech team right now, of course, we don't have enough capacity. Some of the things that we are coming up with in the system here in CLUB250 and the DEFI Connect, for example, are stuff that a community of engineers will work on for 3 months, for 6 months, for a year. But based on the setting, at times we really need to just burn the candle and work night and day to deliver some of these products. And because of this, the fact that we have low resources available, and then we need to actually come in, most of the time, errors are inevitable. You are definitely going to, in fact, I saw something very funny earlier today from DEFI Pay, where a comparison to check if an amount has been met, like to say if S is greater than or equal to Y, then perform so and so action. But what the instruction was, if Y is greater than or equal to X, what is supposed to be is S greater than or equal to Y. But what was actually written is Y greater than or equal to S. And as this is realized, we'll swing immediately into action to fix it and reverse the effect, as the case may be. So now, the fact that we were on the blockchain, that first attempt, the enthusiasm with which we started it, we closed all the doors and the windows so that there were no way for administrative configuration in the system. And so once we had an issue, there was simply nothing we could do but to let go of what we already put into the system to that point and everything. And now this time, what we had to do is to make sure that we have room for configuration so that we won't fall the 3rd time or 4th time per se. So we now have the system coming to the market. And as we see things based on the predetermined settings that can be altered, we now have room for configuring to suit prevailing market condition per se. Market condition in this case now is the state of the business in general, the club. Now, yeah, we have a very beautiful plan, as everyone will admit, a plan that can actually make every one of us, and like the best that I've seen around right now. But because the system, which is supposed to be a crowdfunding platform, the crowd was not ready to fund the system. And so we have the situation that was going on where the outflow continue to overwhelm the system because it's not commensurable with the inflow. And so we have the activation of the check. So two things are involved here. It's either we say, okay, no problem, let's just leave it. Let's just keep doing it and let the system die. Some people will say natural death. I think natural death is one that you are unable to prevent it in any way. There's nothing you could have done to avoid it, per se. Or we say, okay, let's make sure that the system doesn't get subjected to a situation or condition that will wipe it all out and change the story forever. So we activated what we have now. And the reason why, from the original design of the progress bar, on the basis of the capacity of the club, the progress bar is not even supposed to be seen, like to be noticed. You will just come and see that it's filled if activities are to be happening. So for example, now, right now, the target of the progress bar is somewhere around as low as 500 accounts or so. We have the capacity to do thousands of accounts on daily basis. So when you just wake up in the morning, before you say good morning, we should have surpassed 500, maybe anything 10, 12, thereabout. So every day people's earning, it's supposed to be dropping, but the system has a check that ensures that this money that is going out is not just going out for going out's sake, but there is a way via which the money is coming in. And the people that are coming newly are not subjected to too much risk. That will be that we may not be able to have a system that will last well enough for them to get return for their efforts. And then our coin itself, which is a cryptocurrency, which is the second side of the current business that we are running, is also well positioned in a way that the tokenomics does not give room for excessive release of the token into the market, which of course has the consequence of getting the price going down to the grave. And then it now becomes possible to build utilities around the coin, because we now know that for every single coin that goes out into the market, there is a backing liquidity. So it won't just be that the coin is going out there only for going out sake. And when you now, for those that may have tested DEFI Pay, if you put your phone number to buy a recharge card, just put the phone number and you perform the transaction, you get the airtime in your phone. So, and this is instant value. It's not a promise. If we don't have a backing liquidity for the coin that will be used for such transaction, it will not be possible to fulfill it. So the fact that the way and manner in which the coin goes out now has the control, now gives it the ability to serve in these capacities and the other ones to come. So what we are gradually achieving is we are moving to that place of settlement where the risk is highly reduced and there is a great sustainability, even as the room is there fully to allow for people to earn as much as possible, provided that the work is done. The only thing that the system will not be able to take is if we will just sit down, fold hands, and be looking at the system until it goes down. And then the system is giving out funds that are mere promises that doesn't have any backing assets. Then it becomes a challenge for the system and of course the entire community and even new people that may want to come and join the system. So now that we have this level now, the place that the system has now finally reached, based on all the iteration and the understanding we've gotten from operating the contract as is for the past 2 months, the admin configuration I mentioned has the ability, it has the room to disable it finally, and it's a once and for all activity. Once this disabling takes place, there won't be any room for any configuration again. And now that we have reached this level, part of what we'll now see will be the public renunciation of these admin privileges. So when I say public, I mean in a way that everyone can prove and verify it. So it won't just be my word against your word, but since it's a blockchain and everything is publicly available on the blockchain, it's now possible for us to say, okay, this is now what we have, and this is how it is now, and you can verify it. Also, another measure that is for you to ensure your confidence. Those are what I'm talking about now. I don't know if I'm going ahead of myself, Director. If you think so, you can chip in. Okay, so another measure is public destruction. Burning is what is called of all residual token. So anything, any single token that
Hello, if you can hear me, sir.
Yes.
Oh, okay, I would have said that you should round it up here so that I know a lot of people have questions to ask, so that your final set of answers will be answers to questions.
Okay, great. So when I answer question, if there are points that I still want to make, I will be able to shift them in at that point. Thank you so much, everyone. In all, we are here the club will continue to be here in 2023, in 2025, and beyond. The club will continue to be here as we have gone past the place of mistake and the place of experimentation. We have come to the place of, if I should say, rigidity, and everything now is geared towards sustainability and real business with real utilities. I gave the chairman a little light of the plan for Brain Network the other time, and it's all going to be great. One thing that we'll continue to benefit from is that we are going to continue to be diligent in our work, no matter the storm and the talk and everything. Our own side will make sure we build and provide the platform. Your own side is to make the best out of the platform. For our own job, we will not stop doing it. I hope once you're able to see that we are together, you also will do your own side of the job. Thank you, Director. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And for those of you that are still far away from DEFI Pay, go and start doing your recharge card there. Do your airtime, do your electricity subscription, recharge your TV, buy card, buy data. Also convert your crypto to Naira directly in that place. What is coming in also after a while now is converting Naira to crypto also, and having some form of crypto bank on the platform. More details on all of this will still be seen. And hopefully by this week, before the end of this week, the mobile app will be on the Play Store. And as all the activities we have outlined on Sea Gold will be carried out, hopefully I'm trusting God that maybe by next week, before the end of next week, we'll be able to start doing everything that we can do on DEFI Pay with Sea Gold as one of the currencies there, as we do all the things that we have planned to do to ensure that the utility of Sea Gold is restored and it becomes a crypto also, even as we're about to enter this bull run, to become a part of the cryptos that will benefit from the run. Thank you so much, everyone. Director.
Thank you so much, sir. Of course, for your explicit enumeration of all of sorts that the community needs to understand basically on where we are and what we're doing as a club. Okay, so we'll go direct to it. You have questions? Make me the host, engineer, if you can hear me, sir, so that I can control and regulate the section properly. So you have a question. Let's get straight to it. I know that a lot of questions first, but veiling the minds of a lot of people. That is that time where you can ask your questions, make observations, bring your complaints to the table. Tonight's meeting hopes to resolve so that by tomorrow we can focus on the business on hand and how we continue to create value. You have a question? You want to raise up your hand? You want to type it in the chat box? I can read it out. I can see one hand raised.
Okay, like the director is having issue with his network. So I can see some hands up. Okay, so Pastor Fabian, please unmute your mic and ask your question.
All right. My contribution is more or less. It's not really a question. It's a contribution based on my observation. Club. The truth of the matter is that quite appreciate the founding members and the recent innovations that have been put on ground to see that this club is a success. At hand right now, I think is the subject of concern for some of us that is here. That the club as it stands now has no issue. That is not true. Presently now, I can tell you that a lot of people have been wounded. CLUB250 promised to alleviate poverty. But as we speak right now, it has become that has even impoverished the people the more. Concern. I can tell you.
Hello, Pastor Fabian. Hello, Pastor Fabian. Hello, sir.
Let me speak, sir.
No, I'm not interrupting. I'm not interrupting you. Just hold on. Just hold on. I am not stopping you. I just wanted to inquire if the director is back. Director, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm back.
Okay. Pastor Fabian, I can go on, sir.
Please permit my manner because
make a point. Let me make a point. While we are talking, please let us personalize our talking. I don't like the remark of people. Please speak for yourself, and when the people come up, let them also speak for themselves.
Yeah, let me speak for myself because right from the time I entered.
Make me the host again, please. Go ahead, sir.
Right from the time before I joined CLUB250, I've never debtor. But as I speak now, I'm living on debt. Situation that this club have put me. Right from the inception, I sold my land. We all know everything that transpired to get to this stage. to see the blockchain, the smart contract. I know how much, but I knew what happened until we finally decide to. And when this issue of starting afresh happens, plan. I'm still going back to it because the major reason we are having now pain is more than what is coming in. And any system must definitely run down the drain. It's not sustainable. I did my clean of the stuff. It's going to be taking more money from the club. Even while we are addressing this issue in the leadership, when engineer of the 10,000 accounts, that 9,000 is due for payment. This is the primary issue, the primary cause of this problem. And Shema said, 9,000 accounts, he did the calculation, 9,000, and he amounted to 2,250. He said, what is 2,250 compared? I said, because that calculation he did for 2,250, it is per day for a day. If you multiply that for that your earning will terminate in level 1, if you multiply that by 20 days, it's giving you 40. So if you are paying $45,000 for 20 days, can the system generate up to $45,000 for that 20 days? Literally no. So that goes a long way to tell us it's far, far more than what the system is receiving. Factor. And let us not forget, when we told the people that this is the best compensation plan ever. And we also guarantee them that this business, as long as the internet exists, there's nothing that will happen to this business. A twist. And we now begin to shift the blame to the community.
Okay, Pastor. Yeah,
please, sir, let me I have not surrounded.
Your point.
We cannot say the community.
Your point. Hold on, sir. We are not.
Listen, now let me talk. That's the problem. You will not allow people to talk.
Are not coming to lecture us. What we said is
a dictatorship system.
Hello, please. Hello, Pastor Fabian, please a moment.
People talk, you remove them out of the group. Allow people to air their minds.
Yeah, okay.
Allow us to air our minds.
Excuse me.
This meeting is supposed to be
It's fine. I'm talking to you, Pastor Fabian. Director.
Me the host, so that I can regulate this meeting, please. This is not an argument center, sir. For you, the job is recycle the point. You are not here to lecture us. This is 2 minutes past 11. We can't continue talking randomly.
How long have I been talking? How long have I been?
This is the point I am making. Founding partners have made.
Okay, yeah, Director. I don't know if I'm heard. Am I heard?
Identified your problem with how the founding partners to address that. You are heard.
Okay.
You are heard clearly.
Okay, thank you. Let me beg everyone's understanding that it won't be a bad idea if we can naked every part of the system and see anywhere that anything that looks like debt lives, and we take it out. For anyone that is in this meeting this evening, this is after 11, I want to also beg that if it's possible, if there are going to be 2 people left by 1 o'clock or by 3 o'clock, as the case may be, such that we can come to an understanding at the end of this meeting in a manner that everybody have said everything that they want to say. So for everyone here is a stakeholder in Club 250 Cent. I'm not sure if we will really have prospects in this meeting. If there are prospects here, it's still okay for them to learn from the dimension I'm soliciting that the meeting should take. And what that means is that if there are, I think we have 30 people in this meeting. If 20 of these 30 people have something to say and they want to say it for 5 minutes each or for 10 minutes each, I want to beg that everyone in the meeting should still manage as much as possible. I think Shaman told someone to go and drink water our first time so that she can stay awake. So let's allow for everyone to say everything that is in his mind. The ones I've refused to read chat messages, I've refused to read some of the messages that people have sent from behind to tell me what people are saying. And what I will know as what people are saying are things that we can hear in this meeting this evening. And since we are all stakeholders in this business, the reason why we are here is because we want it to work well. Anyone that really wants to destroy the business, if there is anyone here that wants to destroy the business, I would want to think of the kind of devil that would want to use such person, because that devil must be a very stupid devil, in that this is our business. And all that we are saying here, the way for us to get to where we need to go is by seeing that this business stands in 2025. So at that point, we know that, okay, we are getting to where we are going. So if there are things, both the obvious and the hidden, that are here, let's just hear them, everything, and then talk about it. If at the end of the complaints, at the end of the discoveries, at the end of the diggings, we see points and way forward. So what I want to beg from anyone whose hand is up, make sure in as much as you are going to air your mind, you are going to say the things that you are really sad about. Also, I pray that God will give you the inspiration to bring some points, some solutions, some way forward. So don't stop at just the complaint. Also come up with way forward. I heard Pastor Fabian say that is the problem. Okay, you don't, so that's a discovery, like you don't allow people to talk, something like that. Oh, who knows? Maybe that is what is giving us issues. So what should we do going forward? Okay, what kind of, how many people can talk and what, so all these things. So what I'm begging is that we will just listen, and anyone that want to talk now, once it's your turn and you start talking, you are simply going to talk until you finish talking. When you finish talking, you say, I'm done. And points that you have raised can be picked and discussed. Since I've begged that every one of us, let's take water. I have a bottle of juice here. Sorry, the metaverse has not improved to the level of sharing it. I would have said I'll share with everyone. But I'm sure that what we need now is to be calm and objective so that we can dig this thing out. At least let's just let's consider some of the efforts that everyone here has put into this thing. And then what we want is way forward, not any other thing. So thank you for accepting my plea. Thank you, Chairman. I see you are nodding to what I'm saying. So that has been taken. So that means whoever wants to talk now, you can talk even for 1 hour, but make sure you're objective. And if you reach where you don't have what to say again, just say I'm done. But as you talk, make sure you bring points out on the way forward as you bring the problem to. Thank you so much. Pastor Fabian, please continue.
Thank you, Engineer. I appreciate you. You see, I'm one of this club in mind, because the way I'm committed to this business, I've never been committed.
Sorry, Pastor Fabian, hold on. Pastor Fabian, hold on. Engineer, you have actually spoken very well, but then let us not make it look as if we are actually trying to stop anybody from doing what they are supposed to do here. But then I think this should actually take shape. This meeting has someone who is coordinating it, and the coordination should actually flow appropriately. They shouldn't be allowed to talk forever. They should be given some certain minutes to talk, and everything they have to talk, they should actually break it down in that number of minutes.
Okay, yeah,
so,
I think that
I'll give
also
everybody
makes
5
sense.
minutes to talk. Each person will have 5 minutes to talk. And please.
Okay. So like for me.
So in 5 minutes, please break everything you
No,
want to
3
say
minutes.
down in
Director,
5 minutes.
Director,
Please
3
don't
minutes.
lecture us.
Director, 3 minutes.
Please do not lecture us.
Director, 3 minutes. 3 minutes, I beg.
Okay, so just go straight to the problems. Okay, sir. Okay, noted. Just go straight to
Please, just give a chance. We have spent a data to get people, so you also have to make a time for us, because we want to be here and solve all problems. You understand?
Like for me, one of the problems I spotted out is
okay, yeah, that was veto power.
Go ahead.
Let me start again. What we have understood already is that we are going to solve all the problems in this system here this evening. Within the 3 minutes, you can still do a whole lot. I'm sure that God will help us. So, but in as much as we are trying to do this, let's also try and make it easy for every one of us. Why we are saying we should keep to the time, tomorrow is Monday. All right. So let's try and make it easy for every one of us. And then please continue now.
Okay, one of the problems I've spotted in this compensation plan, which I've just proved my point just now. 10,000 accounts, we are paying, if we are to pay the 9,000 for 20 days, spending $45,000. Cannot generate $45,000 within. Then another issue is this issue of, they created more enemies than friends. Business. And crowdfunding. So we must do everything. We have created more enemies than people. Because when people want to things, and before you know they are ejected, we don't have to express themselves. It is not healthy for this.
There are a lot of, great networkers, but we have all driven them away because of one issue or it ought not to be so. That was I said, a million friends is not enough. So please, if to embrace people and give them a listening ear, nobody's. If the management is perfect, we will. So let's listen to people. On Sessica, a contribution is. So that is just, and the compensation plan is to be looked at. Give a suggestion. Let it be taken away. Then let us just make it classic. Use the premium. Only the system that is going on. Let that compensation plan be looked. Ejecting people unnecessarily.
Okay, Mr. Fabian, although your network wasn't the best, but I heard you say that we look at the compensation plan, and you also say that we should stop creating more enemies than friends, and to listen to people and stop ejecting people.
Engineer, if you can hear me, sir.
Yes, sir.
If you want me to recap what he said so that you can give answers to them.
Please go ahead. The network wasn't, whether it's my own, I don't know.
Okay, so his two major issues is he has an issue with the recycle button. So for him, he feels the recycling is the major problem of the system. And he also feels that why 9,000 accounts as qualified for earnings right now is because of that recycle button. So he's saying that it should be looked into and, of course, if possible, removed. And then, of course, you heard correctly the second one when he was saying that we are making more enemies than friends. We should stop removing people and all of that. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, thank you. So the problem right now of the system is the fundamental problem of the fact that this is a crowdfunding platform, and we are not having the crowd funding the platform. For the recycle, the original build-up of the system is that when you have one classic account, then the moment you add one classic account to it, and you have reached 1,000 global downline, right? That qualifies you for the 20 days earning. The classic, the recycling is not really an enemy of the system. It doesn't really change too much in the system. If there is no recycle, if the recycle button is not there, another way to still achieve the recycling is by creating a new account under that first account that you created. So you created account A, and then you added account B to it to give it the one downline required with the global downline. If you did that two registration at the same time, account A, when account A has 1,000 global downline, account B will be having 999 global downline. So to get account B to qualify for new earning season is just one account, and account B also have the 1,000 global downline required. So if account B just create one account under itself, it means it can start earning that for the next 20 days as well. And in the same vein, account A. So it's now like whether you create it under account A or you create it under account B, either way, you are still going to achieve the same 20 days of earning. So the difference is whether it's the account A or B that you are using to achieve your purpose, you are still going to bring one person, and it's still going to be for the next 20 days cycle. The only point a little that is there is that if there is no recycling, then you won't have the chance of earning from both account A and B at the end of the first cycle. It will be only on account B that you earn for the next cycle. Account A would have finished his own and has to go to level 2 to get the next earning, and so on and so forth. But this is a point for thought and maybe further digging and checking to establish the exact place that will give us the best output. As for the second point of making more friends than enemy and all of that, yes, so that's something that we're already doing. Most of the time, being that you're a pastor, I'm sure you know what it means to be in charge of human being. It's not an easy task. So a whole lot comes with it. Yeah, but we won't stop pushing and work towards perfection. Part of what I have in mind as part of my own recommendation for solution, apart from some of these fundamentals here, is the fact that the power eventually be in the hand of the people 100%, such that there is what is called decentralized autonomous organization. So decision will be based on voting and everything. Everyone, the amount of sea gold you own in your wallet is what determines your voting power in the system. If there is a need for any alteration, if there is a need for anything at all in the project and all of that. So the making of enemy and making of friends and everything, all of the headache that we are bearing at the top here, and it won't be centralized again. The headache will be distributed, and every one of us will be the one that needs to make the friends and the enemy. We are sure that we'll get better with that. Thank you for your contribution. I think we should take the next first.
Thank you so much, sir. Mr. Abraham Obibi, if you can hear me, please unmute your mic and get to it. Mr. Abraham Obibi, if you can hear me. Okay, I think he has put his hand down. Michael Hezekiah.
Hello, good evening. Hello.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Can I be heard?
Clearly, go ahead.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, membership. Once again, my name is Abraham Obebe, and initially, when I saw this invite yesterday on the escrow group, because I'm one of the people that the chairman thrown out of this thing a few days ago for airing, for speaking my mind. Not just even speaking my mind, for trying to express myself based on the issue I saw that has been happening. You know, I'm sorry I had to start that way because I want to see how far I will be able to talk, and get done with it as quickly as possible. By the special grace of God, I've been, when Mr. Joberiba invited me into this program, I told him that I don't want to have anything to do with network marketing again, because I personally have invested so much money, in several network marketing that failed. Some, they don't keep to promises. Some, they tell you some things they want you to hear. At the end of the day, you start discovering something and eventually you lose your money. From Long Reach to so many of them, But when he told me about, as a matter of fact, he took one of the things he did to be able to convince me into joining CLUB250, saying that he used his money to register my first account. And indirectly was introducing me to, anytime there is a Zoom meeting, he punched me to join. Eventually, I listened to the founding members. What attracted me was the fact that it was made in Nigeria, and the fact that it is from Nigeria, I said, no, this is a Nigeria own. If I can support other program out there from ICOMBOT and several of them, which I have eventually lost money, well, I didn't take anybody to court. I said, why not? This is our own. That was why I joined. And since that time, I see myself entering so many meetings because I personally developed some, I became passionate about this. But the truth is that the way, last week, the way Chairman threw me out of this thing, I felt spited. What did I say? The only thing I said was that the issue we had is an issue of trust. Okay, this one comes back to some of my personal observation over time. Okay, why I say I've lost money. Several other persons too have lost money. Okay, and this is how human mind function. When you say that when this thing work out like this, you will get this, you will get that. People will go and pencil it down and wait until that thing you promised happens. If it doesn't happen, they'll say that was what we said. Okay, but now in the case of CLUB250, the way we started on the web page, they said the account was hacked. So many people carted away with money and everything. Somehow as a family, we're still able to come out together and talk and say, let's start again. Which we did. So many people's investment, including mine, went into it. There was nothing I could do. I let it go. But I still had this passion. I said, no. This thing must work. Okay, let's call that an error. We said, okay, smart contract. You understand what I'm saying? We did a pre-launch. I put in some money again of my hard-earned money. I put it again. Something happened. Eventually, that's the second smart contract that didn't work. All the money, say, upgrade 3 level account up. We did. I can remember over $250 of my money went in, lost. Okay, and as this thing is happening again, other persons still are taking record of it. Now, as a matter of fact, when this last one happened, the way the tech team, Mr. Anthony, and some meetings that were held, they were able to this is why this thing didn't work, because it was difficult to feed in so many data into the system, whatever. So many people were still able to understand and follow. Why? Because few of us, so many people left because of that. But few of us still saw reasons. I said, no, let's still support it. It's Nigerian based, let's support it. This time around it will work. Then the new one we just launched, okay? Which I still put in about $200. All this one I'm talking, most of this money I put in, nothing. But my own is not about the money, okay? My own is that the observation I noticed here is that when this new one was launched again, they said, after 30 days, hello, I don't know if anybody's following. They say after 30 days, members that bought some gold on the contract that didn't work will be compensated. Now, so many of us, we are not dummies. We understand how things are. But even if as the fact that we couldn't achieve it, we would have expected that the management will say, we organize an emergency meeting and say, please, we promise the community that in 30 days time, we're going to do compensation, but based on the level of activity, we might not be able to do this now. Please, you plead with the community. That's how to carry people along. You plead with the community. If we can achieve this, we should be able to do this, whatever. But what happened? A month came, the management never mentioned a single thing about it until some leaders started bringing them up. And whenever anybody talked about it, it's either the chairman will shout on the person or you know, they don't, the chairman will either shout on the person, or even sometimes Mr. Gideon, they don't want to hear, you understand, about it. But that is not how it's supposed to be. When you're carrying people, you're supposed to even call the people and explain to them, look at the position, and they will see reasons. These are one of the issues I saw personally, which led both to the fact that I said the major issue we have here now is issue of trust. Okay, now again, even this progress bar they introduced, there is no I don't see any reason wrong with any issue with it, because anything that will keep the club standing is good. But the way it was introduced was another wrong approach. What stopped us? This is supposed to be a democratic setting, not an autocratic position. Everybody are stakeholders. We all put in money. We all put our time. We all invite so many people to say, okay, this is what we are pushing. But why is it that when it comes to decision taking, instead of the management organizing an emergency meeting of leaders and say, look at what we need to do, look at the issue we just noticed. What do you think? You know, you throw it up to the people. No, what just happened is that they will just do something overnight. When somebody talks, you shut the person down. You know, these are the issues. We are not organizing. This is not supposed, this is a network marketing business, crowdfunding, you call it. And you need people, no matter how beautiful a system is. If you don't have the people, it will never work. And when you now create an iota of doubt in the minds of people, you have already failed. You understand? That for me, that is the major challenge. They've created doubt, they've created hatred among people. When people try to express themselves, as a matter of fact, a few of us that tend to express ourselves is because of the love, the passion we have. What happened? You are thrown out of the community, a community that you have spent your money on, a community that you have toiled on. If not even the data you use in doing your transaction or the data you use in joining meetings, you know, these are the issues. These are the issues, you know. Whenever you were talking about we should provide solution, why not? This is what my take. The founding partners, you know, they need to carry people along. They need to learn to allow people to talk. You know, it's not like whenever somebody talks, you throw the person out. You understand what I'm saying? You know, it's totally wrong. It's totally unacceptable. And I don't know how you'll be able to allow people to trust you if we keep doing that. If you check now, even some of the people that are in this house now, they want to say something, but they will never say it. You know, they will never say it. And these are the issues. You introduce a bar. Before you introduce that, you would have called a Congress and say, look at the institution. This is why this thing is important. You sell the importance to the community first. Then the trust will be there. All that, but in the implication, in the application of this thing that just happened, that made the the growth now remain like we're in the feast, is as a result of lack of trust. If you have invited every community member, call for an emergency meeting and say, look at what we just discovered. Look at this thing. This is a danger. This is how it should be addressed. Even in this smart contract, we have already created something like that. It's just that we didn't implement it. We want to implement it now, but we want to carry you along. You know, the community will understand, but that is not what happened. What just happened is that people came, by the next day, they are saying another thing. And things like this, you don't carry people along, in this light. You understand what I'm saying? You know, I'm talking like this, you know, because I feel pain. I didn't like the way I was thrown out of that leadership. It was a serious spite on me. You know, so that's all I have to say. You know, I don't know if I was able to say one or two things, but, you know, I just want to try and, you know, air myself. You understand? Thank you.
Thank you so much. You spoke for more than 3 minutes and I didn't throw you out. That actually shows democracy. But then I think you've made your point. Thank you so much. Engineer, if you can hear me. Yes.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abraham. I think I'm now beginning to enjoy the meeting, you know, and it looks like this is going to be the best meeting of Club 250 so far. And what I trust God for is that at the end of this meeting, we'll come out very strong. Okay. The points you have raised in terms of building trust, it's key, and we are aware of it. From the beginning of this meeting, for those that I spoke with even before this meeting that are also in this very meeting here, the fact that there is a need for trust is the problem right now. And me as a person, I don't blame people for not trusting me, because I won't just give out trust like that so easily. And for the whole narration of what has happened till where we are now, I think sometimes last week we're talking, the three of us here that are talking even when you are at home resting, where time is going to come that we all appreciate what the founding partners, God has used them to do here. It's just that at times, being that we are human, the way we want to do the good things that we want to do, it won't go well with everybody. But what I know for sure is that this is a community business and everyone is a part of it. You and I, everyone has something at stake here, and we all want to do what is right for the business. That is, the motive will always be right. The motive of every action here will always be right, whether it's from the leadership, most of the time, most especially from the founding partners, it will always be right. But approach at times can betray person. So, but of course, we'll just continue to keep pushing. And I know that at the end of today too, everyone here will also help the founding partners. You will not make things too difficult for us so that you will start showing our weakness in public. So if you have pushed someone to the wall at times, it depends on the level of grace, but reacting is inevitable. It will always come forth. So I'm sure that, but allowing people to talk, trust me, 100%, everyone is free to talk. And by the time God give us more of the grace for what I talk about in terms of decentralized autonomous organization, allowing people to talk will become automatic. It won't even require regulation, or you don't need allowance. You are the one to allow yourself to talk, so all of that will just continue to be fixed. And then, yes, to put up an emergency meeting, all that also will continue to receive improvement. At times, the prompt action will be necessary. There are times that the prompt actions will be necessary. And I know we'll continue to understand it in a way, but what you just have to know in your mind is the motive of the people at the aim of affair in the system. The motive is always pure, 100%. The approach at times can betray. And that is when you are sure, when you know of the motive, that is where you will now want to have an understanding. But there are parts towards building the trust. I mentioned some of them. Is because I was spending too much time while I was talking. I didn't go into some of the things. Apart from the decentralized autonomous organization, which I've mentioned several times now, the burning of every residual token and the renunciation of admin access to the system, public renunciation. So what that means is that, of course, we can bear the figurehead like we are leadership because we want to organize and everything, but your stake is the same as my stake. Your power, everybody has the same power. You can acquire more power if you so wish, and all of that. So trust won't just be as a result of trust me. I don't used to tell people trust me, like that phrase. It will be something that has to be earned, and it has to come with evidence. Like, this is why you should trust trust is, it should be verifiable. And that verification of trust is what we want to achieve. So let's just keep holding on and we keep pushing. As for, just as I said now, the community will make things easy for the people that are leading us. So we won't have to show some weakness in public. What I mean is, don't push us to the wall so that we'll start feeling like throwing out. But I'm sure the throw out thing and all of that is a crowdfunding, we know, and everything. It's not even that one. And you would see, I have not tried to justify anything from the leaders till date. But you can also try and wear the shoe once in a while of the people that has this sleepless night more than you do. But all I'm saying is that we have the right motive and we'll continue to improve eventually. And everyone here also will continue to help, as I said, so that we won't show this weakness. I think we should take the next contribution.
Hello, Mr. Anthony, sorry, before you go,
Okay.
I heard what you said, but please, for those of us that were thrown out of the leadership, we are stakeholder of this business. We should be put back on the distance.
Thank you.
Because if you are making progress, you don't just take stakeholders out.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
They should put us back there. We want to be seeing the business we've put in our money into. We need to follow the trend.
Yes,
I'm not the kind of person that when I say something, I will not talk. Tomorrow, if I see something I don't like, I will still say it. So they should put me back here.
Good. So, and that, after you finish talking, I said, I'm now beginning to enjoy this meeting. Like me, if you hear me talking with my strength and my passion, is because I know why I will talk like that. If I have looked at something and I've concluded on it, on a matter I've concluded on it, like I know that you are just at fault, you are trying to get me to talk, you are trying to offend me or whatever, I won't quarrel. But if there is something to be achieved, if there is something good that should come, that is when I would want to put. So the fact that you should, if you see something, you will talk, and of course you will still want to, in as much as we are talking about the leadership, the founding partners being diplomatic in approach. No one accepts truth from a dirty hand. If you are giving out truth in a dirty hand, it's difficult for you to get someone accepting it from you. Of course, the community, that is why I ask for the help of the community. If there is a point to drop, you are definitely going to drop it. And because you have the interest of the business in mind, you are going to polish it in a way that it will be acceptable. In fact, just imagine a situation where you are able to even get the chairman to think that the idea that you are bringing is his idea. And then he will now be the one to start pushing it on your behalf. You have the idea, you sell it in a manner that he feels that it is the one bringing the idea, and then he sell it for you, and the aim is achieved. All you want to achieve is to see the business growing, the idea is implemented, the business is growing, everybody is happy, and that is all. So everyone, if you have anything to say, make sure you say it all the time. You are going to just make sure you present it in a way that you don't offend the next person, even as we too will make that effort at the end of the day. So that is what I mean when I say we are going to try and make things easy for the people at the helm. I'm sure that the chairman has heard that. Those that are removed, even those that are not here, every one of us, everybody will bring everybody back to the system, and the floor will always be open. You present your point in a manner that you yourself can accept it, and then you see it flying. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Engineer Anthony. So before we take the next person, let me chip in something very quickly based on what you have said. Mr. Abraham is right. The name of the business is decentralized. So it means democracy actually. And of course, I cannot exempt the founding partners from some erroneous attitude from not doing some of the things we're supposed to do as at when we're supposed to do it. Maybe there were some administrative bottlenecks. Of course, from that, we certainly apologize. But let me say this, we talk about not throwing people out. Of course, I know that for over a year now, I've not thrown anybody out of the business. And that is not excluding anybody, throwing anybody out. But then in trying to be decent, so just like engineer was trying to point out, I think anybody who wants to come to equity will certainly come with clean hands. It was the chairman that told me not to post some of the messages that was sent to my DM by people trying to express themselves, to the point that even my family was being threatened, and a lot of costs were being placed that this and this was going to happen to my family because we put a progressive bar to stop a business from crashing, so that all of us, especially who have invited people to this business, will not have to be on the run or be scared of meeting those same people we brought into the business. There was no kind of thing I didn't have in my DM, but if which are sent to the leadership, some of us would even be surprised, so to say. So that is in trying to be democratic, insulting people's family and all of that, aspersions that people were casting and all of that. So sometimes when we talk about throwing out, just like engineer said, some of us do not appreciate what we're going through just to try to save this business. And of course, currently to get to where we are, eventually, which is actually going to be a very, very massive success story for everyone. We are more reactive than being very proactive in terms of the business we say we invested our money in. There's nobody who is not going to appreciate the community for the efforts that they are doing for the business. But then again, I think that I was telling somebody the other day that why does the person think that we want to destroy the business? Because the person was quoting that he saw $60,000 in one wallet, number one account. He saw 5,000, sorry, not even 5,000 CGO in my wallet and that of the chairman, 60,000 CGO, which is of course more than $60,000 and all of that. And I was asking the person, I said, have the exchange ever had a liquidity, even up to $10,000? So how can myself and the chairman go and dump 10,000 CGO in an exchange that has not had a liquidity of up to $10,000? And then we'll dump 60,000 CGO in a liquidity that has not actually earned up to $20,000. It just shows you how people want to use rumors to actually cause disaffection, cause war, cause problems where there basically no problems and all of that. So in trying to be democratic, giving people a fair hearing, there are limits and extents that people too should not go because we are all humans.
We can't hear you well, please.
Okay. I believe you can hear me now.
Yes, yes, it's better now.
Okay, beautiful. So the point I was trying to make is somebody was accusing us that we dumped 60,000 CGO in the liquidity, that they were seeing 60,000 CGO in the number one wallet, but now they are not seeing it again. They saw 5,000 CGO in my wallet and 5,000 CGO in the wallet of the chairman. Now they are not seeing it again. And I was asking the person, if not for the fact that you are trying to misinform the public, cause problem, disaffection, and even maybe war, the liquidity on Uniswap, since you say you people were monitoring it, has there been a time where the current liquidity on Uniswap has gotten up to $10,000? So a liquidity that has not even earned up to $5,000 at a time, how can it absorb 60,000 CGO? How can it absorb 10,000 CGO in the wallet of myself and the chairman? So I was just telling the person, what you're just doing is you are just, spilling ignorance. And I know that this same thing you have gone around to maybe discuss with a lot of people just because you want to cause problems. So sometimes in trying to be democratic, freedom of speech and freedom of expression, what some of us are doing is actually to bring about, issues that could actually bring about disaffection and massive problem, for everybody in the system. And I hope we try to do what Engineer Anthony has actually admonished this night. Try not to cross some limits, because some of us, our words are very, very dangerous. I know what has been sent to my DM, people, threatening, cursing, in fact, putting generational curse and saying this will happen to your family and this and that if you are part of those who stole money and all of that, when money has not even been stolen, so to say, so these are the things that we should also learn, that the people we are dealing with are human. And sometimes too, we should not also try to cross the limits. Thank you. Mr. Michael Ezekiah, if you can hear me, please unmute your mic and take this.
Yeah, good evening once again, everyone. Yeah, I want to appreciate the management for this meeting. So I will not want to beat about the bush. I would just like to go straight to the point because of our time. The first thing I would like to talk about here is the meta traders, because often time when people try to talk about this meta trader, when people try to raise issue about it, in most cases the chairman will just ask that we should not talk about that now. This is all we have on ground now, which I think is not the best, because if anything even has happened to the main major project, which is CLUB250, the saving grace that we should have gotten in this project should have been the meta traders. What should have saved our faces should have been the meta traders, because that's why we have various ways. Because CLUB250 is designed to be multiple streams of income, where people can actually divert our attention to when we need money. That's one of the reasons why MetaTrader was created. When something happens to MetaTraders, there was no day. If I can remember, there was not a day that an official statement was given. And we know how we get our people into what we call MetaTraders. We know how everybody knows how we got our people to invest in MetaTraders. Personally, I have my money on MetaTrader. God be my witness, I've not withdrawn a dime from it. It's not even my problem. But the people that we brought into this project, in fact, this thing I'm talking about, chairman is aware of it, and Engineer Anthony is aware of it. A man gave me money, $130, that I helped him buy on that MetaTraders. The money, the man told me categorically that he wants to use this money for the son's wedding, social time, which is this coming weekend. I said, in fact, I use everything to tell him that, oh, nothing, this is okay. Just keep your money, they let it trade for you, this and that. And now, when the time for the man requesting for the money, I started giving him story. In fact, I felt, I don't know each time I come in contact with him, I don't even know how to defend myself. But there has not even been a day that we have an official statement. It's one of the issues that we have this project, that there has not been a day that we have an official statement that, oh, see what is happening here, see what is happening here. Now, as at about 3-4 days ago, when I started clamoring on this thing, that the person is on my neck, come to my office to make noise, come to my office to do this, I called the chairman. I called Engineer Anthony. And Engineer Anthony said he's actually going to do something. He asked that, how much the person, I said $130. And the person placed a withdrawal of $132. And for over a month, place a withdrawal of $132 just to use for the son's wedding. And up to now, when Anthony was sent to me, he said, okay, we'll find something to do about it. When he was sent to me, please, sir, please, let me talk, please. Let me talk.
Leader Hezekiah, you are making a point on MetaTrader. I think you have asked the question, what went wrong with MetaTrader? Let's not actually start talking about all the details about the MetaTrader. Let us allow founding partners to react to the issue of the issue of the MetaTrader, because you've made your point that there was no official statement.